So tonight is October 7th, 2024. Welcome to our October grief transformation and oh my gosh, and whatever else I call it. What grief transformation and something group. Anyway, we'll fill that in at the end of the night. I don't know, maybe it's early Alzheimer's. I don't know. It's quite possible. So I don't have to explain the group like I do every month. Just make sure you have a journal or paper and pen because we're going to do some writing tonight. And before we do that, let's start with a nice brief centering meditation. So get yourself like alert. And in my new meditation certification class, they often say, sit with integrity, which I'm like, that's a different way of saying like sit upright, but sit with integrity, whatever that means for you and your body in this moment. And then go ahead and close your eyes and take a nice deep inhale and really breathe in deeply to the belly. And then when the belly is fully expanded with your breath, hold it for a moment. And then when you exhale, really pull the belly button back towards your spine. It's interesting when we're breathing and exaggerating our breath. We all tend to breathe shallow into our lungs. And just notice that and then try to bring that breath deep into the belly. And for me, it helps if I just exaggerate the belly expanding when I inhale. And hold it at the top. And on the exhale, as you breathe out, you're pulling the stomach in. Do another round of that. And I'm being guided to actually do a yoga breath, which is one is called Nadi Shodhana. You might have done it with me before, but you're going to take your fist and make sort of like a bull horns like this with your hands. Stick out your thumb and your pinky. You're going to place them near your nose. And we're going to do, it's alternate nostril breathing. So I'm going to talk you through it first and then we'll do it. But we would start with placing your pinky and closing off the left nostril and keeping the right nostril open. Just take a nice deep inhale through the right nostril. Hold that at the top. Close the right nostril with your thumb and exhale out your left nostril. Then we're going to breathe in through the left. Hold at the top, close the left, open the right, and exhale out the right. Breathe in through the right. Close it off at the top, open the left, and then exhale out the left. And inhale through the left. Hold at the top. Close off the left, open the right. and exhale out the right. And do that at your own pace, your own breathing rhythm. You're breathing in through one, holding it at the top, closing it off, exhaling out the other. Breathing in, hold, close, exhale out the other. And do this for 3 more rounds. Done. Take your normal inhale and then sigh out to your exhale. Nadi Shodhana is a brain balancer. Gets the left and the right sides of the brain kind of even, and it's a great nervous system reset. Sometimes people feel much more relaxed. Sometimes people feel much more alert after that breath, but you'll hear it. It's also called alternate nostril breathing. So this month, I mean, every month I feel like we do the same thing differently in here. But this month, I really want to spend time with grief. So before we even talk about what that is, I just want you to check in this moment and identify for tonight why you joined in tonight. Like, what is the purpose? And the purpose might be I had nothing else to do. Purpose might be I wanted to be with people. Purpose might be I'm really struggling with something. Like, it doesn't even have to be about grief unless it is. And sometimes when we come in here or when we do anything habitually, we start to get in a habitual pattern. So if we're joining our grief transformation group, instantly that tells the brain, oh, right, I'm joining that because of that thing, this thing. But we need to update into today, even if you joined 3 years ago, if you just joined last month for the first time, it doesn't matter. We want to keep updating our brain for the night versus that thing that happened 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 2 minutes ago. We want to keep updating every single month because it would transform. It changes over time. So you can probably remember the first time you joined into this group, the reasons, and they might be the same reasons tonight, but they also might not be. New grief might be showing up, or new something else. Anger, frustration, doesn't even have to be grief, might be showing up tonight. So we want to kind of approach every month with where we're at right now in this moment versus what we remember signing up for. Does that make sense to everyone? So when we're updating, basically it's like a computer getting an update. You know, it helps us, supposedly, updates for computers are supposed to help the computer system operate more efficiently. I have debates on that, but that's a whole other story. But, you know, we're updating our operating system of, yeah, I have this thing. And you might say, well, I'm working through that. I'm actually doing okay on that, or I'm doing great on that. But tonight I'm here for this. So I just want you to check in with yourself and see what's coming up for you for tonight's group. And again, it could be I wanted to hang out with the tribe. I'm feeling great. And then write that down. Write what's coming up for you tonight in this moment. And remember, in our workshops, I don't know is an answer. Just take about another 10, 15 seconds with that thought. You'll have time to go back. And then reread what you've written. And begin to let that sort of settle into your body, meaning let yourself start to feel it in your body or become aware of it as if it's residing in your body, because it is. And I want you to give the reason you're here for tonight, whatever you wrote down, if that were another person, if that reason was a person, like if the reason was I had nothing else to do tonight, name that, like give it a name, a human name, a silly name, a celebrity name, like give it a name. Give your reason a name as if it's another person. And anytime I'm not making sense, you could just unmute yourself and ask a qualifying question. And does everybody have a name? So I want everyone to just, if your house is quiet in the background, I just want you to unmute, and then I'm going to call on you and you're just going to tell us the name of your grief. It could be a ridiculous name. It could be a real name. Nobody's getting anything right or wrong. I'm just curious as to what the names are. So I'm going to start with you, Tina. What's your griefs? Just the name.
Mom.
Mom. Perfect. Thank you. And then Jen, and then Jill, and then Vicky.
Mine is Doodle.
Doodle.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Thank you. Jill?
Vig.
Vig. Of course. And then Vicky?
Mine is just overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. Yep. We'll do Tom, and then we'll do David.
Home.
Say it again.
Home.
Poem, P-O-E-M?
Home.
Oh, C-A-L-M.
Home. H-O-M-E.
Oh my God, Deborah. What the hell? Got it. Thank you. Mine is called hearing impaired, clearly. Bonnie, go ahead. And then David.
Laura.
Laura. Very nice. Go ahead, David.
He who must be obeyed.
Oh, say that.
He who must be obeyed.
He who must be, I didn't hear the last part.
He obeyed.
Ooh,
So-
who must be obeyed. Oh, that little whippersnapper, huh? And then Donna, then Jane, then Ken.
Nanny.
Nanny. Got that. Jane?
Princess Diana.
Ooh, interesting. That's interesting. And Ken, then Kara, then Kelly. Oh, all the K's at the end.
Emily,
Emily?
family.
Family. Turning my volume up. Okay, Kara.
I said Sam. I have no idea where that came from. It just
Damn,
came
it's
to me.
amazing. It's amazing how it does just come. Something comes. And Kelly, where's your camera on, Kelly?
Oh, my camera. I had a rough day and a rough night, so I'm just not feeling the camera tonight.
We need to start
I
having the
know.
cameras. Well, I'll give you tonight, but I just feel like after all these years, we know each other, especially when we don't have newcomers. So go ahead, tell me you're
I
grief
just wrote
theme.
busy.
Busy.
I didn't really have a designated name for it.
That is a good name. Busy is a good name. And there's nothing about the names. It's just helpful for me to have the names to get a sense of your people, of what's going on inside. I'm just looking at I'm texting Eileen because I think she would want to be here. So, okay. All right, so we have the name of our grief, and I want you to just start to make it like it's a person, another being. Maybe it's not a human being. Maybe it's a monster. Maybe it's an animal, an insect. And I want you to just sort of personalize or depersonalize this grief with your name, and just sink into your imagination and start jotting down, like, what does this, I'm just gonna call it grief right now, but we all know that grief is a big word, and it could be anger, it could be frustration, it could be loneliness, it could be happiness, it could be whatever. I'll just keep referring to grief. We all know what we're talking about. So start to describe in your mind's eye, what does it look like? What does it feel like? How does it walk? How does it move? Is it sharp?
Deb, you don't want us to like describe the person, more the grief and the feelings, right? With these words? Okay.
Yep. So like
That would be
that, yeah, like what is it, if it were another being, what would be some other qualities and characteristics of this being?
okay.
And right now we're kind of looking at the physical qualities, like what does it look like? What does it feel like?
Because I feel like I have to come up with a new name now, because I feel like I keep wanting to describe Emma, right? My person, right? And she was the opposite of what I'm
All
feeling.
of it.
You know, so okay, so maybe I should just come up with a different way to describe it. All right, thank you.
Totally. Yeah. And if you have a different name, let me know a different name. That's a great point, because some of you did name the person that your grief is attributed to, and maybe that throws things off a little bit for you as far as describing. It might not. It might fit perfectly for some, it might not. So yeah, if your name is not helping you, you could rename it. Really lean into your imaginations. Imagine this grief, this thing, this energy walked into your room. What does it feel like? If you could maybe give it an age. And what I mean by that is not necessarily how long you've held this feeling, but if it were a person, what age would it be? Would it be terrible twos? Would it be tantruming threes? Would it be teenagers wanting independence? Would it be elderly? Would it be at death's bed? Brand new? Maybe you have an I don't know. Curious. Now, while we're describing something that's kind of outside us, I want you to kind of hold the imagination that something outside you can also affect inside you. So even though we're putting this externally, imagine this being, this thing is walking up to you. Then I want you to check in with your body and see what is it doing to your body as you like greet or meet or sit around this other person, this other being. In other words, how does it feel to be near this? And just pay attention to different body sensations, aches, pains, tension. Notice your jaw, your shoulders, your stomach, head. Now you're occupying the space with it. It's in your room. It might be sitting really close to you. It might be across the room and you still feel it. get that as much as you can, that visualization. Where is it? Is it sitting on you? Is it sitting too close? Is it down the hall and you can still feel it? Really engage the imagination and describe like where it is, he or she is. And identify at least one part of your body that is affected by it. And really now act as if you're that body part or parts, but at least one part. If you're holding it in your shoulders or your jaw or your back or your stomach, whatever's going on, ask that part of you, what does it need to either release this, or what does it need for protection from this? Now you're asking that part of your body that's deeply affected, how can I help you, shoulders? How can I help you, jaw? And then see what comes up and write that down. And imagine yourself and your body receiving that thing. Whatever your body just said could help it, just imagine your body receiving that, having that, occupying that, attaining that, depending on what you wrote. This is the practice and the art of visualization for healing. Now, what is it that you want to tell your grief, your monster, your it, your thing? What is it that you need to tell it, or that you want to tell it? And then bring that visualization back, what it looks like, where it's sitting, what it feels like. You know, bring it all into your imagination. And then soften your human self. Soften your human self to this other presence in your home. In other words, yeah, soften it. Kind of let down guard is another way, but I like soften is resonating for me more. Let's soften around it. A lot of times with grief, we want to be armored up and ready for it. So let's let the body soften to it. We're not removing it. It's not removing you. Right now, we're sort of going to allow the balance of a coexistence. And a balance of the coexistence is not like dealing with it, air quotes. It's just softening to it. And then I want you to imagine your grief becoming childlike, becoming like a scared child. When you're taking the viewpoint of this monstrous thing as really the deepest childlike part of you, the most vulnerable, scared child self, which softens you to it a little bit more. And ask it, he or she, what does it need to tell you? You can ask it, what does it think its purpose in your life is? In other words, what is it teaching you? What perspectives have you gained? Something along that line. And then just check in with it again. See if anything about it in your mind's eye has changed or shifted. Does it still look as intense? Is it still as, I'll use the word beastly, just lack of better words? And that answer might very well be yes, it does. And finally, some of you are still writing, I'll wait. And then finally, in your today-year-old self, this moment self, what can you, how do I want to phrase this? What does your today-year-old self, like, how can, I don't know how I want to phrase this without creating it. I'm not liking any of the questions that I have written down or the ones that are coming up to me now. It's something to the effect of, what is some wisdom from your today-year-old self? Let some wisdom come up from you to you about this grief. And when I say wisdom, the ego might say, I don't have wisdom. This is taking hold of me. But you do. You do. So, how do we touch that wisdom? Free association, whatever comes up, which includes, I don't know if I have any wisdom. In other words, what do you need to hear from yourself? What's a compassionate response or conversation that you need to have from yourself to yourself about all of this? And then before we go into sharing, we go, yeah, well, before we go into sharing, I just want you to take, when you're done writing, put your pen, paper down, and just close your eyes and go into almost like a meditation, reviewing everything we just talked about, identifying what the grief is for tonight, feeling and creating that grief as another being, noticing where that affects your body tonight, what your body needs for protection. And allow yourself to sit with all of it. Feel the seat underneath you. Feel your heart beating. Notice your breath as your diaphragm expands and then contracts with every breath. This is your time to just really honor and be compassionate to yourself with this thing in your life. As you're sitting with all of this, allow your mind and the brilliance of your mind, the brilliance of your soul. Allow a song to come up into your mind, any song at all. You don't have to struggle or reach for the song. Just notice whatever comes up. And when you're ready, you can write down the song and come back to our group only when you're ready. You might not have time to get to everybody, But well, I definitely want to know everybody's song that popped up. No matter how ridiculous it is or seemingly not related to grief. So I'm going to do Tina, then Jen, then Jill. Go ahead and tell me your song.
I don't know the name of this song, but my grandson sang it to me. Pitter patter, pitter patter. I don't know. It was just, and I said, "What's that?" And he said, "It's the pumpkin." And I said, "What? The pumpkin?" And he said, "No, actually, it's the rain hitting the roof." I don't know. That just came up. It
I
has
love it.
nothing to do with anything.
Yep.
So, and actually, my whole thing like changed from my word mom to something totally different because what you were saying led me somewhere else. So,
Pretty wild.
very wild. My brain is nuts.
Or all our brains are nuts. Well, our brains are nuts anytime we deal. The brain is not the organ to process emotion. So anytime we're dealing with something emotional, the brain is always nuts. It can't compute. It's like asking an accountant to do heart surgery. Like it's not going to end up well. It doesn't know anything. It's the worst organ to use to help us with our emotions. And what do we do? Go up into our head. So think about it. It's like using an accountant for heart surgery. No offense to accountants. Okay, Jen. Jen and then Jill and then Vicky.
You just want the song?
Yep.
So like this is crazy because like instantly, and I don't know why. So obviously this is coming from somewhere. That song "I'll Stand by You" by the Pretenders.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, was not even on my radar and just instantly popped in my head. So of course I'm looking at the lyrics and it's very fitting for how I've been feeling. So
So cool.
yeah.
Very cool. Jill, what was your song? I know you're a song person, Jill. I'm gonna go Vicky, then Tom, then Kelly.
My song was Katie Lang, Love is Everything.
Love it. And Vicky?
Mine was You're Beautiful by James Blunt. My husband, when he was sick, used to sing it to me.
Oh, God, I love that song. Thank you. And then Tom, then Kelly, then Donna.
What happens when you get two songs? I got one. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
What's that one? And then we'll take the second one.
It's Raining Men.
That's a great one. Hallelujah.
It's raining men.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh, that's fantastic. What's the second one?
I was looking up the name. The song. It's something. The skies are blue. Something like that. I can't. I was trying to get the words. I was hearing that. I'm like, on a nice day. Oh, what?
That's how I am with songs. I don't know. People ask me songs, and I'm
It's a
like, I don't
Wonderful
know.
World.
Oh, what is it?
No,
No.
no, not a wonderful.
If you think of it, let us know. That's how I am with songs. I'm like, I don't know. It had the word cougar in it. I don't know. Or I'm like, I don't remember.
Something about blue skies and a rainy day just popped in my head right now.
Is
I don't
it
know why.
blue sky shining on me? Nothing but blue skies do I see. But it has rain in it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we'll put rain in it. Rain comes raining on me. Sunny rain.
Oh, you're giving me an idea. We should do a Zoom karaoke night.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
Oh my gosh. If it comes to anyone, let us know. I'll change the chat to make sure it says for everybody. Oh gosh, I can never do this anymore. Oh, I don't think it can work. Okay, so who's next? Kelly, then Donna, then David.
Vienna by Billy Joel.
Oh,
That's the first one that popped in my head.
wow, that's a good one. I haven't heard that in a long time.
I think Slow
Oh,
Down
yeah.
Crazy Child is kind of resonating for me.
Oh, yeah, I love that line. Slow down. Okay. All right, Donna, then David.
You Are My Sunshine.
I knew somebody was thinking that one. You Are My Sunshine. All right, David, then Bonnie, then Eileen. Go ahead, David. Did you tell us? You're muted.
A Day in the Life.
A Day in the Life?
Yeah.
Who sings that?
Beatles.
Oh. What little band is that? Oh, the Beatles. See, I'm so terrible with music. The Beatles came up in a reading over this weekend, and I was like, I don't know, I'm hearing Strawberry Fields, and I know the sound, I know the tune, I have no idea who sings it. And the person was like, that's the Beatles. I was like, oh yeah. Okay, got it. All right, Bonnie, then Eileen, then Jane.
So the song that popped into my mind is called Superhero, and it's
Ooh.
by a band called Atreyu, and it's really about being the parent of a child.
Wow. Anyone heard of that before?
It's kind of a rock song, but it's not like super hard rock.
Huh. I've not heard of them, but that
About all the things you would do for your child to protect them.
Yeah. That's a heavy song.
Yeah.
Who's it by, Bonnie?
It's Atreyu, Atreyu. There is a little bit of a screamer at one point in it, but it's okay. It's not that long.
I can deal with it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Bonnie would be the last person I'd think would have like a screamer song.
You know, it's all right. A little bit here and there.
I love it. Yeah. I'm digging it. All right, Eileen, do you have a song? I know you didn't participate in all of the rest of it. Don't forget to unmute. And then Jane, then Ken, then Kara. That was Eileen, maybe. All right, we'll come back to Eileen. So Jane, then Ken. Oh, wait, there you go. Go ahead.
Beyonce's I Was Here.
Ooh. I Was Here. All right, thank you. And then Jane, then Ken, then Kara.
So I also had two songs, and the first one was You Are My Sunshine. And quickly, the second one was I Just Called to Say I Love You.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's Stevie Wonder.
thank you. I could hear it and I could picture it, but yeah, and then you're right. That is Stevie Wonder. All right, Ken, you're up. Ken, what was your song?
A song from the 70s by Eric Carmen called All by Myself.
Oh, wait, is that the one I think it is? I have the worst singing voice.
I can't sing it.
Go ahead, Jill.
All by myself. I don't want to be all by myself anymore.
I am writing karaoke night.
To get me a karaoke.
Thank you. Do karaoke in Mystica.
Thank you for the music.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, Kara, last but not least.
No, I was thinking that was, I love to hear you sing. That was funny. Do you happen to know it's a Christian song called Here I Am, Lord?
Oh,
Anybody
I
ever
love
heard of
that one. I love that one.
Oh, that was a favorite of my mom's and mine at church.
Do you know that one, Jill? It's really powerful, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't, but I will look it up. And next Kara, next
It's a cool song.
meeting, special
about-
song for you.
Yeah, it's a cool song. It's
What is it, Lord, lift me up?
It's called Here I Am, Lord. And
Here
it's
I am. Okay.
yeah, it's there's several different people that sing it. It's just
It's right up there with On Eagle's Wings.
Mm.
yeah, Here I Am,
And
Lord.
be not afraid, right? It's up in that. Yeah. Very cool. So your little homework for everyone, but either it's tonight or at some point tomorrow, to tune into this song, including the pitter patter with the rain, pumpkin, all of that. Sound is obviously vibration, right? Energy is vibration. Emotions are vibration. So it is not coincidence for whatever song came to mind, including one you're not aware of, or including one that's not like, quote, not that it's not real, but like you don't know the title of it. Do you know what I mean? It's carrying a vibration. You're resonating with it for some reason. Maybe it's the lyrics, maybe, but it's even more the sound, the vibration of the music. So at some point over tonight and tomorrow, pop on that song. What that's going to do is either neutralize your grief buddy or maybe lighten it, lessen it, or maybe make it heavier. And when we do it, I know Vicky's like, no, come on. This is bullshit. This class is stupid. But when it makes it heavier and it's in sound, it actually moves through our body faster. So any way it cuts it, whether it's neutral, lighter, or heavier, it's doing something to the energy in your body. All music does. And remember, like back in the day, like when you have a breakup, right? And you're like, say like not even a real relationship, like when you're like 12. I don't know. I just had my first real relationship when I met Greg, but that's another whole point. But like 12 years old, when you think you had a relationship, do you know what I mean? And your like heart is broken in a million pieces. What do you do at that age? You played really sad music, right? You played like really depressing down music. And that's because your body was resonating with that vibration. So it's not coincidence that whatever song came up is going to do something for your energy field. And you're just going to observe it. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's the lyrics, maybe it's most likely the vibration, or both for sure. So that, I want you to listen to it, and maybe you're driving, maybe you're sitting still, maybe you're walking. It doesn't matter if you're still moving or not. Just notice and keep your grief buddy in mind as that song is playing. Now, we're not looking, see, grief, well, all emotions, but grief is like, we're not looking, well, I mean, we're always looking to like solve the grief, right? To fix it. But at the same time, what we feel when we're grieving is the ripple effect of an event or a series of events. And we cannot change those events, which we all know, but what we can do is change the ripple. So music and vibration is operating on that same, it's a ripple, it's a vibration. So we can't change the event, but we can change how we handle the ripple. Does that make sense? So when we're looking at this going like, oh, it doesn't make me feel better, you're probably at one, maybe there is no feel better. We have to allow that to be involved, like a possibility. And two, we can't change the event, so we're not looking to solve something we can't change. We're looking to handle our energy field with what we do have in the moment. Music is, for those of you who took ETA, especially ETA in person, because ETA online, Jen, did we do it with a lot of music?
I was just gonna, when you're done, I was gonna pipe up and say, this is like ETA, because we, even in our we had a group and we would post songs in there and have so we did it in just a different way.
Just a different way, yeah.
But yeah, it was powerful.
It's so powerful. Music, I say this all the time, all future healing. We're not going to have big pharma in not that far away, believe it or not, but it will be all sound and light healing. All healing. Sound and light. No more pills, no more anything. Sound and light. So sound is already here. It's available to us. Put music on. When you're feeling really down, try to put happy music on. See how much you don't resonate with it. And I'm not saying put it on to make you happy. I would say pick music that matches your vibration to the moment. And then it moves whatever you're feeling so that you can move into a different vibration and resonance. So maybe sometimes you do want to put happy music on because you're sad. I'm somebody who likes to meet you where you're really at versus forcing yourself to try to be someone where you're not at. Because I know the body and mind, they're brilliant, they evolve, and they can process things properly if we meet them where they're at. If we force ourselves, be happy, be, fake affirmations. I'm a millionaire and happy when you're like down and out and miserable, the body's sort of like, you're totally lying and now you're pissing me off. So we want to like meet ourselves where we're at for the ripples and vibrations to move through. So does anyone want to share either an aha from tonight or a takeaway from tonight? We have limited time, but and you can unmute yourself. Yeah,
I'll
go
go
ahead,
for it.
Jen. Okay, Kelly,
Oh,
then Jen.
sorry. I think one of my takeaways just after writing out the before and after of like seeing it on paper, that I do actually have a better grip on it than I thought. Um, not just with coping mechanisms and things like that, but I don't think I'm that bad for where I thought I was.
Yeah, and that's so helpful just to like just take this time to like check in because our brain will tell us, no, 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 you really don't have it together. No, 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 you don't have it together. And that's why I said in the beginning, like, let's upgrade to how we are tonight. Because tonight is not necessarily where we were at the original event. Maybe it is. Sometimes it is. That's allowed too. So that's a great takeaway, Kelly. All right, Jen, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to share. I changed the name to Martha Fucker.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Martha
So
Fucker.
I just cracked me up, so I figured I'd share that. But yeah, Martha was like one of the. I kept picturing like the old witchy lady from like Snow White when the witch turns into that like old lady, and like she was like hanging over my shoulder, like yelling at people because that's how I feel like lately. Because just the fall and like this whole time is just a crazy couple of months for me, and that's how I feel like that freaking lady, like pointing her finger over at people.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
But Martha, I'll probably dance with Martha for a little bit to calm her ass down to that song. So
I was gonna say play a little, I'll stand by you, and she'll be like,
right, exactly.
stand
She'll
by
sit down and she'll have a nice little cup of coffee and relax a little bit. So
give her the apple, right? Was she
exactly.
the one from Apple?
Right, little apple, warm apple cider, and just calm down.
Give that to old Martha Fucker.
Exactly.
I love it. It's awesome. Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead, Kara.
I was just gonna say, Sam is just an old soul, not male or female, just an old soul. And I just wrote down, came from the essence of love beyond this world. And I think that's it. Just that is just with me, just sitting with me, beside me. So
And how do you feel in this moment?
sad. But Eric kept coming up just saying, it's okay, you'll be okay. Sam saying, hey, just sit here. We'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just sit with me. And that's what I said. I said, when you said, what do you need from Sam? Just sit with me.
Perfect.
Just let me be, I just need to be sad.
Yep. And well, I don't want to say how nice is it, because it's not, but like, for lack of a better word, how nice is it to arrive at that? Even though that sounds so simple, I know so many times we all don't let ourselves feel what it is we need to feel. Like, just sit with me. Like, could you stop trying
Yeah.
to push me away? Could you stop trying to fix me? Could you stop trying to this? Like, just let me be.
Yeah.
That's very, ironically, it's a very empowering emotion, even though in the moment it's a very vulnerable one. But it's empowering just to like let it be, It's like a little 3-year-old that's just sobbing. There's not much you could do. You just hold the 3-year-old. So thank you for that. That's a good
Yeah.
reminder. Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead, Tina.
I just want to know why I couldn't come up with a regular song. Mine was like something my grandson sang to me this weekend, and why, just by something you said, it changed my whole, like, it started out with the word mom, and then it totally, I don't have my notes with me right now, but you said something and it totally switched to something else.
What did it switch? What did you give it a different name?
I didn't really give it a different name. I just came up with a whole different like thing in my head.
So what was the first one like? Like, was the first one, like, how did it change? Did it change to heavierness? Did it change lighter?
Heavierness. Yeah. I mean, I don't have to talk about it now because I know it's late, but yeah, the whole thing just was weird because I was thinking one thing and then it changed, and then I don't know. Did anybody else
Well-
have that? Or did everybody stay the same?
Anyone else have that? That wouldn't be uncommon by any means. And when you say you're thinking, like, I was thinking one thing and then it changed to another, did it change when you actually had to feel it?
Yes.
That's the difference. When we think one thing, feel different. Feeling is an entirely, remember, accountant cannot do heart surgery. Brain cannot process emotions. Totally opposite. So thinking about it, we almost like to think about it because it feels more like in control, or I can put it in a box, or I can label it. It's tidy. Oh, well, this is why. It's very logical. But the problem is that with energy / emotion, it doesn't want to be organized. It wants to just be expressed. So the brain likes to organize and create like a plan and da. But the body needs to feel it because it's energy moving through the body. So that would be my instant thought of, oh yeah, it would totally change and definitely get way heavier when we feel it. That's why we avoid feeling these things, because it's heavy. But the irony, and when we feel it, and this is like the whole point of all of it, this is when we feel it, it moves through the body faster than when we try to think our way through it. When we think our way through, it'll last decades. Absolutely decades. When we feel it, it can last literally seconds. We can feel an emotion and go, oh, there it is. Wow. I mean, I can remember times where it would take me months and months and months to get off one thought. And now that same thought, it comes up, but maybe a bad day is 3 or 4 minutes of it, which is dramatic change for me on this one thing. So, it's a process, hate to use the cliche, but when it's being felt through the body, it's moving. When it's being thought, we're just taking from the old tape and we're recycling the same shit. There's no processing on the emotional level with the brain. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling in this moment? Heavy. Yeah, I can feel it. It's like stuck in your throat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have 2 feet flat on the floor?
No, on my chair.
Yeah. So put them flat on the floor for some grounding. Feel the energy or imagine energy running down your spine, going down both legs, anchoring you into the floor. And take a nice deep breath into your heart. And let yourself feel it. How is that? You're barely breathing.
I'm breathing.
Yeah. And whatever one of us is going through, we're all going through it, which is what's so amazing with energy. So right now, Tina is grounding all of us through herself. Does everybody get that? And similarly, we're all grounding Tina as Tina grounds us. It's a symbiotic relationship. And any grounding we have already, we send to Tina. And then it's like a mirror.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's different. I don't want to say it's better, because even not being grounded isn't bad. You know what I mean? Like, none of it's bad. But so when I say that's better, I don't mean like you were not good minutes ago and now you're better. Just energetically, there's a difference, a slight difference. Now, what I want to warn everyone, but you in particular, Tina, is when we close out and we hang up tonight, your mind is going to want to tell the story to yourself all over of why you're sad. And every single time, I want you to interrupt the story and just feel it in your body. You're going to have to, I'm going to say, interrupt the story, and then 2 seconds after you've interrupted the story, you're going to have to interrupt the story again. That's how strong the waves of the inner dialogue come over and over and over. So it's a practice of like, up, there's that thought again. No, delete, stop sign, whatever you want to envision in your head, and do it over and over. No, I'm not having that right now. I'm feeling it. I'm not thinking about it. There, and notice the difference. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a practice in and of itself. Yeah, Vicky, go ahead.
I have a question. When you said to ask it, the being, of course, man was a monster. What do you need to tell me? And I was, just waiting. And it was interesting because it said, stop fighting me, stop pushing me away. You're pushing too hard. And it was interesting because I have so much pressure on my chest and it felt like someone was like strangling me. It was so heavy. I was like, stop it, Deborah, this is enough. I'm not blaming you, but I was just like, it's too much.
Yep.
And then I heard, usually I see, but I had my eyes closed. I heard, don't fear me anymore. So I'm like writing down, how can I not fear something that took so much from me? So trying not to be frustrated. And I know I'm going into my head instead of feeling it, but I was feeling it and I'm in my head. So I'm looking for guidance there, because how can you fear something?
Yeah, say that question again. How can I
not fear something that took so much from me? And it just keeps coming up.
Yep.
So I don't want to fear it, but it's like, there's also that little kid that's like, what else is it gonna take? I'm not trying to feed everybody's fears, but it's just like, because it's like, it's been a long time, but it's still like, I'd love not to fear this horrible big monster. I would love it. I'd love to be like, hey, I ain't got time for you today, which is what I did for many years. That's why I'm where I'm at, because I was able to push it away. But now it's full in the face. So I'm just trying to figure out any suggestions, because you're saying feel it, and feeling it is very painful. And I'm already fearing it. So I'm afraid that the fear isn't going to let me feel, if that makes sense.
Totally. Yeah. Well, the fear is part of it. So even the fear is the feeling. So when you're fearing it, you can acknowledge the fearing of it. I'm not saying to not feel it, like to not, because, but in fear, yeah, I would never say like, yes, feel fearsome, or feel the fear. That's hard to say. Instead, because of course, any of these constrictive energies are ones we want to push away. So that makes sense, except fear, when you're feeling that fear, oh, there you are. Okay, I remember you. That's why we take it outside as if it's an external being, because right now your body and system doesn't know that it's not you. Like
Okay.
we get consumed by these emotions, so we can't even feel what's ourselves and what's real and what's not. Does that make sense?
Fair.
Like what is there to really fear versus what's my mind telling me? It's hard to tell those difference. Why am I sad, right? Like I'm sad because of blah, blah, blah. It's hard to tell. So we're just saying, yeah, here it is again. Oh, you can start a dialogue. Oh, you know what? I don't have time for you today. And make bargains, even say, listen, I don't know if I'm up for this today. When can we meet? And literally on your car ride home from work, or pick a time in the shower, doing things that you're already going to be doing. Say, can we meet again at this time and place? If you're in the shower, you're in the car, whatever, you play music to help it. So you want to create a dialogue with it as if it's something external, because a lot will be revealed that way. Just like it was revealed tonight, like, stop pushing me away. Stop fearing me so much.
Yeah, I don't
That's
like that
it.
it talks back. I don't like that.
You will once you're in dialogue with it. Right now, it
Okay.
seems like, what do you mean you have a voice? You don't have a voice in me. I'm the boss of you. You know what I mean? It's that like conflict.
Okay.
Does that help? Does that resonate?
It does. I'm not liking it, but yes, I'll be more open to it. I'll try harder.
Yep. Well, not even try harder. That's where you have to be very careful. It's be more compassionate to myself.
That's impossible, but I will try to be compassionate. I'm a work in progress.
I like David went like this. David's listening, and then you said that, and he went, and he smiled, a big smile. I caught that whole thing, David. That's great. Like, yeah, that whole self-compassion thing, fuck off. I'm not doing it. But spiritually speaking, really inviting compassion into ourselves is the most healing thing. Because we are inviting compassion in different forms. What do I mean by that? We can invite compassion in an energetic healing way of, oh, wow, there's that, oof, I don't like this. Ugh. And we can acknowledge it. That's one way of dealing with ourselves compassionately. Another way of dealing with ourselves compassionately, so we think, excessive shopping, drinking, eating, all the vices. That's self-compassion. It's just self-compassion in a way that's also not really helping. Anything we do for ourselves, oh, taking a walk. I mean, that's a good one. There's favorable self-compassion actions and then unfavorable, but we're having them anyway. So when you say like, it's impossible for me to be compassionate to myself, look at your spending habits, look at your drinking habits, your eating habits, look at your vices. And those vices will always show, oh, wait a minute, I am being kind of nice to myself over here. Even though nice is, if it's excess of, you guys know what I'm getting. If it's a vice, then how nice is it really? That makes sense?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad you asked the question. That's important. So tonight, tomorrow, at some point, play your music. See what rolls out of that. Maybe you play it over and over on repeat, or maybe it rolls into something else. Just see where the vibration takes you, including Tina with that going around in your head over and over and over. See where that takes you. Maybe it brings you into laughing when your grandson's singing it to you. Maybe it brings you into, oh my gosh, a memory that makes you sad. Like, see where it rolls you into. Maybe it kicks off another song in your head. So follow the vibration and let your bodies just go with what comes next. This is like a little bit of miniature ATA, like Jen, like an energy transformation awareness workshop that we've done online, we've done in person. It's fabulous. I will bring it back. I will. I'm just starting to get into the in-person thing again. So any questions, thoughts, snide remarks, like my college professor used to say to me? I had to move, it was December's grief group, which we have plenty of time for that, but I'm just telling you now in case some of you, like I know you write them in your calendars ahead of time, December's changed to December 3rd. And then this Sunday is membership chat at 9 a.m. for anyone that wants to jump on. It's much more informal. Then of course, Sunday night meditation. I think that's it as far as being online for the rest of the whole month. Wow, it's early in the month. For those of you who live locally on November 16th, I'm going to be leading my very first taught yoga class. And I call it yoga for the truly terrified because your teacher's truly terrified to teach it. So we're going to be a great match. But it's actually a yoga class, which I will share more about as time goes on, but it's not going to be your typical like downward dog, none of that. Although I love that, I love practicing that, I would not enjoy teaching that. This is going to be a somatic yoga experience to process emotion. So it's not going to be what, like mountain pose and then, bend over halfway up, all that stuff. It's going to be about deep inner processing through the body.
And that's in person only.
That's in person only at this time. Because I don't know if I could run it Zoom there. I don't think they have Wi-Fi at the place that I'm holding it.
Where is it?
It's going to be at the Plattekill LaGrange in my area. So it's in Plattekill, New York. It is something I could teach online, but not that one because there's no Wi-Fi in the building to do it.
And is that a weeknight probably?
It is a weekend. It's going to be a
Oh,
Saturday.
it
morning.
is.
Yep.
So it is something that if we wanted to travel, we could do.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And it's going to be like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. It's not going to be quick. It's the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah. It'll be definitely worth where it's like a mini retreat.
Yeah.
And I could do this one online, not that day, but this is something that that is very transferable by Zoom. So we'll have to put one of those on the calendar. Let me get a couple of these under my belt in person and then we'll talk online. I think that's it that I have coming up. I want everyone to have a great rest of the week. I cannot believe it's Monday. It feels like Thursday to me already. I don't know why. I don't understand. Whatever.
Is anybody else in Florida? Because we got another hurricane going to hit us.
I know.
Ken is.
Ken?
You're not getting ready to get hit on Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah. Where are you, Ken?
I am in Port Charlotte.
Oh, that's where my sister is.
Yeah. Is that on the west coast?
West Coast, yes.
Oh, that's where it's hitting. Oh.
West Coast.
And
We'll
Kara,
be
you're in
thinking about you.
Kara, you're on the East Coast, right?
I'm on the East Coast in Jacksonville.
And then Jane's there too.
We're supposed to evacuate Wednesday morning.
Who's that? He just said that?
They suggest we evacuate starting tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Yeah,
But aren't you on the East Coast, Jane?
Yes.
Where?
Hurricanes are going across
I'm
Florida.
in Wilbur, which is, I'm on the barrier island, and Port Orange is my address, but like I said, I'm on beachside. It's south of Daytona.
Okay. Oh,
So
yeah, it's
Pam,
coming straight across. Yeah.
You're still gonna get it though, because in like 4 hours, the hurricane's gonna go from one side of the Florida to the other side.
Oh, yeah.
You're still gonna get it. We'll get it
Oh,
first
yeah.
every year.
Where are you again, Kara?
I'm in Jacksonville, I'm on the East Coast.
Wow.
So it's coming across, it's gonna hit us after it hits them. So I don't know, we don't know how severe it's gonna be. They've just canceled school for the next 3 or 4 days.
Oh,
Yeah, everything's closed on this side and over here too.
and are you by Punta Gorda then? Is that Port Charlotte right there?
I'm 20 minutes from Punta Gorda.
Okay, yeah, so that whole area is being hit, correct?
Yeah, all Charlotte Harbor. We just don't know where the center is gonna be. The center right now is supposed to be up near Tampa.
Yeah.
If it stays up there, then we'll get a lot of storm surge, but not the high winds per se. If it comes a little further south, then we'll get the high winds too.
Well,
Pray for
we
you all.
will. Yeah, we'll pray for. Oh God.
Thank you.
This
Thanks,
hurricane
everybody.
is nuts.
The
Thank you,
second
Kara,
one.
for mentioning it.
The only positive thing is that after Hurricane Allen hit, like back in the 80s, they changed the building codes in Florida. And a lot of the homes, like where I live in my development, are like fortresses.
That's
We
good.
had hurricane, I fled to the other side of Florida the last storm. I'm not doing it now, even though I'm supposed to evacuate. The hurricane sat over my house for like 9 hours and did no damage. Just because of the way the houses are built, which is a sort of a positive thing in a way. You just don't want to live near water. You have to get away from the water because the storm surge is going to be 10 to 20 feet high.
Jesus Christ. God, man.
There is no way I would be staying. You should evacuate.
I don't live near water. So
Bye, David.
I have my hurricane shutters on. I mean, I live 15 miles from water, put it that way.
We're all gonna live by water soon.
Yeah. Right.
My
Well,
house
we
is-
will pray for all of you, and I'll keep my eyes and ears open for Florida weather. Plus, my son's moving down there in 2 weeks, so close to Jane, real close to Jane.
Oh, really? Where?
And I'm happy he's not here now.
Me too, please. Oh my God. But Daytona area. He's going to chiropractic school at Palmer. So he's close to Jane.
Right by me. The library's right down the same street.
I know 2 people like who live close now. You and one other person. I'm like, oh, that just makes me, even though he's like an adult now, it just makes me like, okay, all right, he's got people.
Call me whenever you need to.
I definitely will, and you know I will. So everyone have a great rest of the week. I hope it goes as fast or as slow as you want the week to go, depending on what side you're on of the world. And then we'll see each other Sunday, I hope. So have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night.
Thank you.